revolution.
Tonight, WMON features a special report on the notorious Bryson case, which involved two of Monticello's leading citizens. They are our special guests this evening and have agreed to share with us some of the details of this extraordinary case. I'd like to introduce them to you right now. Monticello's District Attorney, Mike Carr, and his wife, Nancy Carr. Nancy, you were the primary victim of this Bryson case. You were held, without your consent, for many weeks at the Rexford Clinic under extremely unpleasant conditions. First of all, you were held incommunicado.
That's right. I wasn't allowed contact with the outside world at all.
What was the nature of your treatment there by the hospital staff?
I was kept in a locked room. It had no windows, so I really couldn't tell if it were day or night. And I was confined to bed with restraints. I was heavily drugged for days at a time.
Actually, the treatment my wife suffered was almost inhuman.
Well,
Yes. No, I wasn't expecting anyone. Who? Oh, yes, send her up. That's strange. What is Valerie Bryson doing here? Not at all. As a matter of fact, it's kind of ironic. I was just thinking about you.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I was watching MON News, Nicole Drake interviewing Mike and Nancy Carr.
Oh, I'd like to watch it, if I may.
Are you sure about that? I think it might be a little too personal or painful for you. I'm sorry that your visit came at such an inopportune time.
No, April, I think I should know what's going on in my father's case. I can't hide in the closet forever. If you're game, I would like to stay and watch it with you.
Have a seat.
Thanks.
Oh, yes. Detective Stoner deserves a great deal of credit because he was the one who apprehended Gideon as he was about to re-enter the clinic. That was the circumstance, of course, that allowed me to assume Gideon's identity, to enter the hospital disguised in bandages, and to discover the exact location where my wife was being held.
now the people who held you prisoner and who harbored Ira Gideon are now in custody. Mr. Carr, as Monticello's district attorney, can you tell us anything about what's going to happen now?
Well, Ira Gideon has been remanded to a maximum security prison to await trial on the charge of embezzlement. But additional charges of kidnapping, unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, and attempted murder will be brought against him.
And the others?
They'll be charged with kidnapping, attempted murder, and harboring a fugitive from justice.
Well, do you see any obstacles towards these convictions?
At present, Dr. Bryson's wife and the orderly, Matthew Sharkey, are providing information to the police about the conspiracy. I should add that there are no plans to offer immunity to these suspects in exchange for this information.
What about the fourth member of this group?
Well, as you know, Dr. Bryson is also in custody, but he is not cooperating with the police. He has remained silent, which, of course, is his right.
Well, what can he hope to gain by remaining silent?
I would say that his silence has nothing to do with legal strategy. From what I understand, he has refused to cooperate in his defense. He's refused legal counsel, and he's even refused to see any members of his family.
Here you are. Here you go.
Thank you.
you certainly looked deep in thought.
Does it surprise you? I was thinking about my father.
I guessed as much.
It must be awful for him right now. Sitting in that place all alone, wondering what's going to happen to him.
Well, doesn't he realize how awful it must be for you, his refusing to see you, and you're wondering why?
He has to have reasons. It's just so hard to understand. Why?
Maybe it is all very simple. Maybe he is just too ashamed.
It's got to be more than that. I know he loves me. And he knows I love him.
Valerie, do you also know why Draper went to Europe?
I read about it in the papers. He's gone to Switzerland to investigate my father's past activities.
Yes.
I hope you realize that if I could help, if I could shed any light at all on his past, I would. Only because I think it would help him.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
April, I feel so stupid. I knew nothing of illicit operations. As I look back now, I realize how protective my father was with me. When he had the clinic in Lucerne, I only saw him on summer vacations. And the rest of the year I was at school. I never heard or saw anything that would make me suspect any wrongdoing.
Why don't we forget all about that? And why don't you tell me what it was like to live in Lucerne?
Awesome. Beautiful. Magnificent and... oh, and the memories.
Oh, no, you don't. Don't stop there. It just sounds like it's getting good. I mean, if you were 16, I think you were blushing.
Oh, I just have such wonderful memories of Lucerne. I fell in love there. Can you imagine falling in love with someone you've never seen?
No. Therefore, it needs explanation.
Well, his name was Jim Diederiksen. He was a young lieutenant, a Vietnam veteran. He'd been badly wounded and his face horribly disfigured. So he was sent to the clinic for plastic surgery. His face required a complete reconstruction, which means lengthy surgery. So he was at the clinic for months. I met him on my summer vacation. Oh, I remember that first day. We spoke on the lawn about books. And after that, we were together every day. We'd take long walks, and we had wonderful conversations. He was witty and articulate and charming, and I was 18, and it was so romantic. I decided right then and there that this was love. And the mystery of it all, I guess that just made it more appealing. But I never did see his face. He was always bandaged.
You're kidding. Wow, that sounds like it's out of some kind of gothic novel.
It does, doesn't it?
Well, what happened after the summer?
Well, I had to go back to school, and very reluctantly, I might add. And he promised he would write to me. I wrote to him, but I never heard from him after that. So nothing happened. Nothing at all.
It's a rotten ending.
Yeah, that's what I thought. For a long time. So, now I just think of him sometimes. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he looks like. If he thinks about me.
Wait a second. Your father should know what he looks like before and after the surgery.
Oh, yes. Plastic surgeons always keep photographs for their records. He would never show them to me, though. I think he knew I had a crush on his patients.
Lieutenant
Jim
Diederiksen. Really would make a good novel. Or movie, how's that? Oh, well. That is all in the past. What about the present? Let's see, have you met anyone in Monticello yet? Anyone unbandaged?
Yeah.
Yes? Who?
Just yes. Hurry up, Carla. My neck is killing me.
Just think of the tea, Marla, and the pain will go away. There, that's it. That's it. Great. Same time tomorrow, please.
And I'll send you the chiropractor bill.
Yes, send me the chiropractor bill.
Well, that's a good start, I'd say.
Yes, I think I got a lot of good shots today, pal. Leave everything alone. I'll take care of it. You've had a long day today.
I'm just making up for the time I took off earlier.
You've done more than made up for it? Dismissed.
Thank you, Carlo, but I have no place special to go anyway.
No? Nor anyone special to meet?
That's right.
You know, you've got to start meeting people. You should be turning away all the eligible young men in Monticello.
Carlo, I have been in Monticello a very short time. Now, don't rush me into someone's arms before I've had a chance to say, hi, who are you?
Well, I'm sure you'll meet lots of eligible candidates at the Whitney wedding.
See you tomorrow. Oh, Marla, your sunglasses.
Oh, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no. Darkroom.
Hello. I hope I haven't come at a bad time.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's always a pleasure to see you, Mr. Whitney. What can we do for you?
Well, actually, I was hoping to have a little private visit with your assistant.
I was just on my way out for coffee anyway. Miss Baxter, if you would come along with me, I'll talk to you about your needlepoint.
Please, come in. Sit down.
Thank you.
I could order something in if you'd like.
No, thank you, Miss Bryson. I'm here to apologize for my behavior earlier. You must have thought me unforgivably rude.
Oh, of course not.
And suffering from a shocking lapse in memory.
Well, it's been more than 3 years since we met in Switzerland. I really shouldn't have expected you to remember.
On the contrary, I do remember. And even though it was such a brief episode, I remember with pleasure. You were a charming companion, and you helped make St. Moritz even more pleasant.
Well, it's very nice of you to say so.
And after I was so abrupt earlier, I thought I owed you both an apology and an explanation.
Well, there's no need, really. It was my fault. I shouldn't have recalled myself to you like that. I guess I was just so surprised to find you in Monticello.
Well, perhaps your timing was off just a little, you see. My future wife is a woman of some spirit. I might even say she's somewhat competitive. Possessive, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
Yes, it's the only flaw in an otherwise perfect nature, that one of jealousy. But I do have to forgive her for it. She looks so beautiful in green.
I'd say it was a compliment to you.
And I take it as such. Then I'm forgiven for my insufferable rudeness.
There is nothing to forgive. After all, it's not as though we shared a past. We shared a few dinners.
Oh, and an afternoon on the slopes. You see, I do remember.
Well, why don't we just forget all about St. Moritz, shall we? I promise never to make it awkward for you. I am glad to see you again, though. Especially at this very happy time in your life.
And I am very happy to have such a good friend close by. One who is so understanding. sorry if you were just leaving.
I'm sorry, too.
I would like to have a word with you, if I may.
Do I have a choice?
You know, for someone in my employ, you've got quite a fresh mouth. No one else that I pay for talks to me like that.
Ah, then you must find me refreshing.
Oh, you are, my boy, you are. But one day that mouth of yours may cost you something.
I can afford it.
There is just no end to your smart one-liners, is there?
I'm sorry, Sky. I'm just tired and mad as hell at the whole world. Sit down.
Sure.
Can I get you anything? I think there's a beer around somewhere.
No, thank you. You know, I've always considered that a peasant's drink.
Well, let me tell you something. There have been plenty of kings that have hoisted steins with ale. And I know that you consider yourself royalty.
Okay, enough with the witty banter. I've got more important things in my mind, Gavin, not the least of which is my dance company and Jody Travis.
I know. It's very much on my mind, too, I can assure you.
Well, what about it? The last time we talked, you weren't very enthusiastic about progress so far. What's the situation now?
Unchanged. Worse, if anything.
Meaning?
It may be time to give up the ghost. Jody is worn down to practically nothing. She's so psyched out about the whole thing, she doesn't believe that she can do it. And if she doesn't believe it, she can't. And won't.
The hell she won't.
Collapsing. Mentally and physically. And I won't push her any further. She's on the verge of falling apart. And I'm on the verge of trying to find a replacement.
You'll do no such thing. Now, you listen to me, boy wonder, and you listen good. If that girl is on the verge of collapse, and if she's not ready to open, it's your fault. And if you can't handle it, I'll get someone who can. And if that happens, you can consider yourself unemployable, because I will smear your reputation so far and so wide. The only place you'll get a job is in darkest Africa, choreographing fertility rites.
Now, you're being a damn fool. I am the only one Jody will work with, and you know it.
Don't flatter yourself, kid. There's plenty of talent around, and I've got the money to buy it, wherever and whenever I want. And if, just if, that happens, I'll have you tarred and feathered and carried out of town on a rail.
Just who the hell do you think you are, Mr. Whitney? Are you threatening me?
Now, I don't have to tell you just what you can bet on that. That broken leg of yours, that accident that you had, that only kept you from dancing, not from walking. Consider yourself lucky for the moment.
And that, my friend, is no smart one-liner. That is a fact.
Mrs. George Landon, O-N. Yes, I believe I have that spelling right. A cat is caught in a tree, you say, and the firemen are there now. Well, yes, I think that might make a nice little human animal interest story. I'll see if we have someone to cover it. Yes, oh, yes, indeed, indeed. I'm an animal lover, too. Yes, I am. And thank you so much for calling, Mrs. Landon. Goodbye. So that's the kind of a day it's going to be, is it?
Hello. You look wonderful.
Raven, what are you doing here so early? Don't you know you shouldn't interrupt a big executive at her labors? And how did you get past my secretary?
She was in the ladies' room.
Oh. And no wonder Mrs. Landon got through.
Don't worry. I'm not going to take very long. I just remembered that I wanted to see the guest list just to make sure.
Raven, I was making guest lists before you came into this world, bringing the plague with you. Just looking over this list myself. And I must say, I question the taste of asking some of these people. Two of them have sent regrets.
Which two?
Artine Duval and Derek Mallory. No wonder they sent regrets. You know, I think you're looking for some sort of unhealthy satisfaction. To gloat in public, my dear, is a social misdemeanor. With you, it's a felony.
So Sky invited Martine. I don't care. I'm in love with the whole world, and I want everyone to know how happy I am.
From the size of the guest list, everyone will.
Well, this is going to be the social event of the season.
If that's your view. Now, here's another list. I want you to take a look at this and see if I've forgotten anything.
Looks pretty good. Present for April. I forgot a wedding gift for Sky.
Dear. Well, you can't very well top the Whitney Mansion, can you? He has everything. It's going to have to be something unique.
Unique is expensive, and I've already exhausted my credit. You don't suppose I could buy something and charge it to Sky, do you?
No, Raven. This is one thing you cannot charge to Skylar. Now, wait a minute. I've just thought of something.
Unique?
Very. Yes. I think I have something very special you can give to Skylar. Now, you wait right here, dear. I'll be right back.
You are wonderful. What would I do without you?
I worry about it, too. A lot.
Now, Gunther, I want you to make sure to take that small suitcase, those envelopes there, and, well, here, this briefcase. That'll be a good start for you.
Yes, sir. No, I've already put 2 clothes bags in the car.
Good. Oh, have those shirts arrived from the tailor yet?
Yes, sir. Delivered this morning.
All right. Listen, I want to keep the files for the dance company with me, so make sure that you don't put them off till tomorrow.
Right. You know, I've been so busy with the wedding, Mr. Whitney, that I haven't had a chance to check on Wiley. Have you talked with him?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I saw him last night.
Oh?
He's not very encouraging about my protege. He seems to feel that Jody Travis doesn't have much of a future with the dance company. He wants to replace her.
That would be...
Yes, a total loss. There is no time to replace her.
You know, after all the time and money you put into it, that's a disaster, Mr. Whitney.
Gunther, you're just about finished with preparations for the wedding, aren't you? I mean, there is not very much left for you to do, is there?
Yes, just some odds and ends now.
I would like for you to keep an eye on Mr. Wiley from now on. When you get the chance. Just make sure that things go smoothly and well.
Yes, sir.
You may be called upon to use your powers of persuasion. Again. But I want for you to persuade gently, of course.
Yes, sir. You may be sure of it. Gently, of course.
You won't find any old love letters in there, Raven. I burned them all long ago. They were too provocative, too incriminating.
You old sweetheart. From the look on your face, I think you have a gift for Sky.
I have. It's this.
This is beautiful. It's an antique, isn't it?
It is.
Where did you get it?
Belonged to my father-in-law, Gordon Whitney's father. He gave it to Gordon the year we were married. And look at the initials on the inside.
S.G.W.
Samuel Gordon Whitney. My father-in-law's name. And the same initials as Skylar's.
How could you possibly part with it?
Well, I was going to give it to my oldest son, Colin, but then Colin... Well, then I had no need of it, you see.
So you keep it here at the studio?
Oh, just temporarily. I had it in the safe here. As you can see, one of the links is slightly bent in the chain, and I was going to send it to the jeweler for repair, but I've just never gotten around to it.
Well, let me take it. I'm running errands today anyway.
Oh, that's a good idea. It won't take a minute to repair, and then you'll have it for Schuyler for his wedding day. There is one thing that might present a problem, however.
What?
Well, watch pockets aren't very common in men's clothing nowadays. So you might have Gunther check Schuyler's trousers and vests.
I will. Oh, thank you. You are a very, very generous old soul.
Oh, Raven, I do wish you would stop addressing me as old sweetheart and old soul. I am a vigorous, energetic woman of a certain age who can do anything you can do, and probably better. So please don't start looking around for a nursing home as yet.
I won't. You are my very, very best friend in the world, and to prove it, I'm going to go buy you a present.
Oh, really? What?
A crash helmet.
A crash helmet? Whatever for?
A safety precaution for when you ride your motorcycle.
Yes, what is it, Gunther?
Excuse me, Mr. Whitney, but Mrs. Swift is here.
Hello, darling. Why are you packing? I'm an expert.
In so many things. And what are you doing here, lovely?
Well, I haven't seen you since this morning, and I just can't stay away from you.
Pretty soon you won't be able to. Gunther, did you want something?
Oh, yes, sir. If I may disturb you for a few minutes. There's some old records and files out here. You might want to look at them, if you will. I don't know whether to keep them or throw them out.
Yeah, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
I'll bet anything this is the key to Sky's little private room.